What was his mission? What was his job? What was his orchestration? What was his assignment? It was to lead the worship of the Malachim and the worship of the one true Yahweh. And that's why he used to say Hallelujah, because Hallel used to sing his praises to only Yah. And when we say Hallelujah, not only are we praising the ones Satan was supposed to praise, and not only are we doing his job, we're reminding him that he fell from grace.
Right.
Because we're quoting his name. We're saying we're here to take over. We're here to Hallelujah because Hallel is not doing Hallelujah anymore. He's busy nowadays eating dirt. What's Satan been doing the last few years? Been eating dirt. What's Satan going to be doing tomorrow? Eating dirt.
Dirt sandwich.
What's Satan going to be doing next year? Eating dirt. He's a real dirt devil. Ladies, every time you vacuum clean, don't feel sorry for the enemy. Just remember that's what Satan is doing. Every day eating the dirt. He doesn't have to accumulate it, he's full of it.
Got it. Full of it.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Oh, how you all have fallen. Look at verse 12. From the heavens, oh Hallel. When you take the Hebrew word Hallel, the Hebrew word Hallel means, listen, the shining one, the illuminated one, the brilliant one, and the bright one. The bright, illuminated, shining one. Radiating the glory, the kavod of Abba Yahweh. How have you fallen from the heavens, O Hallel? In English, we get Lucifer from Hallel, not Satan. Hallel translated into English is Lucifer. Son of the morning, you have been cut down to the ground. Son of light, son of the morning light. You've laid low the nations. Why? You said in your heart, let me go up to the heavens. Let me raise up my throne above the stars of Elohim. Let me sit in the mountain of the meeting on the sides of the north. Let me go up the heights of the clouds. Let me be like the Most High. So why did Yahweh throw Hallel out of heaven? Because he was lifted up with what? His own self-importance and his own pride. It wasn't enough for him to be the worship leader. He wanted to be sitting on the throne, kick Yahweh off. That's replacement theology. And Yahweh said, I don't go for replacement theology. The church has not replaced Israel. Israel, unreborn, reborn has replaced Israel, unreborn. Israel, apostate, backslidden, and stiff-necked, has been replaced by Israel, regenerated by the Ruach HaKodesh, as the 12 tribes have come home through the blood of Mashiach.
Come on.
So Yahweh never did believe in replacement theology because replacement theology originated with Hallel.
He never will.
The shining one. And so he didn't want Yahweh's light to shine and to reflect his light like Yeshua reflected his Father's light. So he said, I can reflect my own light. Yahweh said, sure you can, but not here. You're going to have to find your own kingdom. So he got thrown to the earth. Are you with me?
Yes.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Yes.
So Hallel was not happy manifesting Abba Yahweh's light. He wanted to be the light. And Yahweh said, look, sorry, go be a Gentile. Satan, what was Satan's punishment? A, he was thrown out of the third heaven, but B, he became a Gentile. Don't tell me, well, Rabbi, I'm not Jewish, I'm a Gentile believer. You ain't no Gentile believer. Are you washed with the blood of Israel's Messiah? Then you're part of the commonwealth of Israel, and it's about time you live and act like an Israelite, and walk like Yeshua walked, and take away the WWGD bumper sticker, and replace it with WWYD. What would Yeshua do? He would keep Shabbat, he wouldn't eat pig, he'd keep the feast, and he'd walk in the ways of his father somewhere. Are you with me? So Satan, Lucifer, was like the most, wanted to be like the Most High. How many know that no one can be like the Most High? Not even Yeshua is subject to the Ein Sof. Are you with me? Even Yeshua is subject to the Ein Sof. But notice, Yahweh says here's what you're going to do. I'm going to cut you down to the ground, and you will be laid low among the Gentiles. What are the Gentiles? What's another word for Gentile? Nations. Peoples. So Satan's going to be just like the nations of the world that don't know Yahweh. A cast out Gentile. So next time you erroneously think that I'm not Jewish, but I'm a saved Gentile. I'm so happy. I'm a saved Gentile. I'm just a saved Gentile. Yahweh says the first Gentile was Lucifer. And how did Lucifer get all the Gentiles to be like him? Stealing their blessing, thinking that they weren't Israel. Are we on?
Yes. Right.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. But he was the light bearer, the light bringer. And what is the word for river in Hebrew? It was the river of light, the river of illumination, the river of brightness flowing out of the Gan Eden. But in order to flow out of Gan Eden, the river had to commence and begin operations. Its origins were where? In Gan Eden. Interesting. From these verses we see, brothers and sisters, that the river coming out of Eden is a prophetically hidden meaning, a metaphor speaking of Hallel, the light bringer, the light bearer. We are told that Hallel was living somewhere when he was thrown out of his apartment in heaven. And where was he living? Lo and behold, he took up residence in the garden. So all the garbage that came from Hallel was flowing out of the garden into the nations. Now I want you to understand that this river was flowing before Adam and Chava fell into sin, into Chet. That river was already flowing, Ted. Are you with me? Why? Because who was living in the garden? Hallel. He was the first resident of the garden. And what did Yahweh do? He made Adam and Chava and put them right in the garden. And Satan goes, I didn't worship you, Abba. I didn't serve you, Abba. I didn't stay in the truth, Abba. I didn't abide in the truth, Abba. I was a murderer from the beginning, and now that I got me some creation, I'm going to murder this creation. And that's what Yahshua said in Yochanan 8. Satan was a murderer from the beginning who abode not in the truth, and those who hate me also are murderers, because they don't want to abide in the truth. Are you with me? Yes. Are we on? Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Go with me to Yecheskel 28. I'm talking about the one who was living in the garden before Adam and Chava. Yecheskel, Ezekiel 28. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Go deep, brothers and sisters. Yecheskel 28. 13. You were in Spanish Harlem.
Wow. You need it.
No, I'm sorry, in Eden. You were in Miami.
No.
Yahweh, speaking of Hallel, says you were in Eden. That Nahar, that river, was the overflow of your nefarious, dastardly deeds and your character and your personality. That was a type, a prophetic foreshadowing of the filth that would come from the resident of Eden. Who was the first resident of Eden?
Hello.
Are you with me? Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Hallel. Now, Yecheskel 28. You were in Eden. Who's Yahweh talking to? Hallel. The illuminated one, shiny one, bright one. Every precious stone was your covering. The ruby, the topaz, the diamond, the beryl, the shoham. Circle that word shoham.
He had it made. He's so stupid, my goodness.
Circle that word shoham. Jasper, sapphire, turquoise, emerald, gold. Circle that word gold. Shoham and gold. What was some of the jewels that Satan was covered with? Some of the beauty that got him all lifted up, proud and boastful. It was gold and shoham. Isn't it interesting? You take away the S-O, you're left with what? You know, Yahweh says, eat of the show bread. Satan's got the shoham.
Show him.
An Israelite wants to show you the showbread of Yahweh, the presence of Yahweh, the kavod of Yahweh, but the children of the enemy want to show you the ham. An Israelite has no business eating ham, sweetheart.
That's right.
Renounce the hidden things of darkness.
Yes.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. So ham and gold. Verse 14, you are the anointed, the Moshiach, the cherub, who covers all of creation with and reflecting my glory. Not only was he the worship leader, He was the anointed cherub. What is the word for anointed?
Mashiach.
He was the Mashiach of heaven. He was a worship leader. He had the whole world in his hand, the whole future. All he had to do was be satisfied with his position to radiate and emanate and manifest Yahweh's glory. But that wasn't enough. He wanted to be Yahweh and replace Yahweh on the throne of the universe. So Yahweh said, oh no. He says, I will share my kavod, my Shekhinah, with no one. And so what did he do? He said, look. He says, you were set apart in the mountain of Elohim. You walked up and down in the midst of the stones. You were perfect in your ways from the day you were created, verse 15, until iniquity, unrighteousness, lawlessness was found in you. He broke Yahweh's Torah. And so forth and so on. Your heart was lifted up. So on and so on. You profaned your set-apart place, verse 18. Therefore I brought you from the mist, brought you from the fire, and I devoured you. I turned you to ashes upon the earth before the eyes of all who see you. Are you with me?
Yes.
So Satan was what? What did Yahweh say to Satan? You're out of heaven. No one can be worshipped here except me. I am Yahweh. You are the created Messiah who is supposed to lead others into my presence, not steal my glory, not steal my kavod, not steal my honor. You are to lead people to me and not to take the malachim, the angels, away from me. Are you with me, somebody? Baruch Hashem Yahweh. And so he threw S.A.Tan out of the third heaven, and he found a new home. And lo and behold, according to verse 13, he found a home in Eden. Where's Eden? Gan Eden. Gan Eden. 1 Kepha 5:8 says, listen, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the enemy, as a roaring lion, runs to and fro, seeking whom he may devour. How does Satan operate? Back and forth, to and fro. And he sends out this illuminating brightness, this illuminating light, but it's really the subterfuge of his darkness and nefarious character. Are you with me?
Yes.
It looks good. It's good for the eyes. It's good for the senses. It's good for the five senses.
Yes.
But it's death. There's a way that seemeth right unto man, but the end are the ways of death. And so Satan's wares, his activity, his operation, his MO, seem good to the unregenerate sons of men.
Yes.
Because he runs to and fro, walking to and fro as a roaring lion. Why does it mean as a roaring lion? Why not as a walking camel? Because who is the lion of the tribe of Yehudah?
Yeshua.
Yeshua. So he wants to be like the lion. He couldn't be like Abba in heaven, so he goes, fine, I want to be like the lion. Can I be the lion of the tribe of Judah? Yahweh says, no, you can walk around looking like a lion, acting like a lion, roaring like a lion, but you got no teeth. You've been defanged through the blood of Yeshua and the resurrection of his son. You've got no teeth. You've got no authority. You've got no fangs, somebody.
Keep eating dirt.
Baruch Hashem, a very limited diet. And so we see in Eob, go with me to Eob, page 757.
Thank you.
Eob, chapter 1. The one who goes to and fro, walking back and forth, seeking whom he devour. He wants you to think he's a lion, but he's a declawed pussycat. Are you with me?
Yes.
Page, Baruch Hashem Yahweh, page 7, what did I say?
Baruch Hashem Yahweh 57.
757. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Satan thinks he's a 757.
Yeah, right.
But Yahweh grounded him in Eden. Are you with me?
Yes.
1:7, I'm sorry. Verse 7. Eob 1, verse 7. Yahweh said to S.A.Tan, where do you come from? S.A.Tan answered Yahweh and said, oh, from diligently searching in the earth, from walking up and down in it. Up and down in it. What's another way to say up and down in it?
To and fro.
Back and forth, to and fro. Are you with me?
Yes.
Back and forth, to and fro. Now we go back to Bereshis 2:10. Let's go back to Gan Eden. Bereshis 2:10.
Where he came from.
We're going to go deep now, guys.
Go deep.
a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it divided and became 4 riverheads. Are you with me?
Yes.
To water the garden meant that Satan appeared as living water for the garden, but what was really in that river was death. Sounds like religion. Sounds like those systems that preach Jesus but deny half of the Bible. And struggle with the word eternal. When Yahweh says the feast and the Shabbat and these things are eternal, they struggle with these things because it looks good, but they have not come into the fullness of Yahweh's understanding and revelation.
Amen.
Are you with me?
They're being swimming in the wrong river.
So the river that was supposed to give life to the garden divided and became 4, how many? 4 river heads. Now keep your finger in Horatius and go with me, please, to the book of Revelation.
4 river heads.
Revelation. Revelation. Chapter 12.
Catolitico.
Is anyone enjoying?
Yes.
If you're enjoying now, just wait till about 2 hours from
Ay,
now.
ay, ay.
Revelation 12. Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Fix it.
Are we Israel? Are we Israel? Are we the 2 houses of Israel, Judah and Ephraim, being brought back together by the blood of Yeshua? Non-Jewish believers, Ephraim, Jewish believers, being made one in the Master's hand. It's not us, it's not that you, it's not that us. Now watch this. The flood that came out of Eden was to destroy Adam and Chava, our first parents. If you trace this Israel message back, where do you go back to? The garden. Not the Jews, the church replaced the Jews replaced the Hebrews, and the Hebrews replaced, no. Oh, Yahweh always had one people, one bride, eternally committed to those who were committed to Him. So we can trace the Israel message where? Back to the garden. Because who were the first righteous man and woman in the eyes of Yahweh? Adam and Chava, before they what? Before they fell, before they sinned. Now, since Satan could not stop the Messiah from coming and redeeming mankind, which of course was Satan's what? His undoing. What has Satan's plan been for the last 6,000 years? Yahweh redeemed Adam and Chava, did He not? Yahweh redeemed the people of Israel through the blood of Moshiach, did He not? So Satan is going to do the same thing to the people of Israel that he did to Adam and Chava. He's going to send the river because he's the one that walks to and fro in the earth. And now if you find Israel, you're going to find Satan. People say, where's the devil? Is he under the pulpit? Is he in my house? Rabbi, I think he's in my stockings. Really? Throw him out. Rabbi, I think the devil moved into my house.
It's in the roof.
I hear steps in the attic. No. To find the devil, you got to find Israel. Because Israel, you don't like Israel because Israel is Yahweh's reborn people, the 2 houses, physical and spiritual Israel, coming together. And wherever you want to find Israel, you'll find S period, A period, 10. Look for Israel, you'll find Satan.
Ay, 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 ay.
Now watch this, Revelation 12.
Wow.
That water, that flood, that Nahar is flowing indeed in the earth. Even as it flowed in the days of Adam and Chava. Look at Revelation. Revelation 12, 15. Talking about the great tribulation. The great thlipsis.
Oh, my.
And go back to verse 13. The dragon. Who's the dragon? S period, A period, and when the dragon saw he had been thrown to the earth, what's the first thing he tried to do? He tried to set up a stream. Where? In Eden. What did that stream do? Destroy Adam and Eve, and then destroy all the inhabitants of the earth who would later populate the Gentile nations outside of Eden. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So the flood was always meant to reach all nations and persecute Yahweh's righteous seed.
Wow.
Are you with me?
They're swimming in the
Now the
wrong river.
woman, now watch this, the dragon saw, because he had been thrown to the earth, who's that? S period, A period, 10. He persecuted the woman, hello, who's the woman? Israel, the nation of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. He persecuted the woman,
Wow.
and not only the woman, but the woman who birthed the male child redeemer who would rescue and redeem all nations. Who is the male child redeemer that the woman birthed to bring in all the exiles of Israel from the nations? So in the Great Tribulation, Satan is unloosed in all his fury to destroy not only the woman, who is the woman? Israel, but also the seed of the woman, or the seed of those who believe in Messiah Yeshua. And when Yeshua was born, Satan tried to kill the Messiah in Bethlehem. When Herod raised up his army to destroy all the babies of 2 years and under, the same way he just tried to destroy the man-child of the woman in the first century, he will attempt to destroy the seed of the woman, Israel, in the Great Tribulation. Jacob's trouble, somebody. Are you with me? We have here a truth. And verse 15, I want you to notice. And the woman, I'm sorry, back to 14. The woman, Israel, was given two...
Come on. Come on.
Wow.
Well, Rabbi, I don't believe in the two houses. I believe that Christ came to bring Jews and Christians into a happy birthday party.
Wow.
Really? Well, why does the eagle have two wings?
Nice.
If the Jews are all Israel, what happened to all the other seed of Jacob? Yahweh said, I will make from you a multitude of nations. Where are all the other Israelite nations? If tiny little Jewish Israel is all Israel, what happened to all the other Israelite nations that Yahweh said he would make from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Ephraim?
That's right.
The seed of Israel is in every nation. Every corner of the earth, the four corners of the earth, every nation, every city, every village, every hamlet, that's where you'll find Israel. And during the Great Tribulation, it's not the church goes up, the Jews get killed. During the Great Tribulation, it's both houses of Israel go through the great trying and purifying time of Yahweh. Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Yes.
And notice, we don't fly away to heaven, we fly to the wilderness. How many? Two wings, Judah and Ephraim, Jews and Christians, even though most Christians don't know they're the other house of Israel, physically descended from Jacob, they are, regardless of what they do and don't know. Yeshua said, Matthew 15:24, I have only come for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So if you belong to him and you hear his voice, you are an Israelite, even though you didn't know you had a physical connection to Israel. Yeshua didn't. That's why he brought you together with your Jewish brothers in the Miami Beach Israel Revival. That's why he brought you together. Because he knew what you didn't know.
Wow, we're in the sun level.
But notice, in what is the Great Tribulation all about? It is a time of what? Yaakov's trouble. Israel was given two wings. That's Judah and Ephraim. The wings of a great eagle, the overcoming bird of prey. We are overcomers. What does it mean to be Israel? To be an overcomer. And fly into the wilderness. Do I believe in the rapture? Absolutely. But not the one that the church teaches that you're going to fly away to heaven. We're going to fly in the wilderness during the Great Tribulation to be supernaturally protected by Yahweh. I believe in the rapture. From the four corners of the earth into the Great Tribulation to be supernaturally protected by Yahweh. I believe in that type of rapture. If you are an Ephraimite, you're going to go through the same thing your brother Judah does, and we will be flying away, honey, during the Great Tribulation to the wilderness, not to heaven. Sorry to burst your bubble. I'd rather burst it now than have Satan burst it later.
Up and away.
If that's what you mean by a rapture, I believe it. We're going to be raptured into the wilderness of the Great Tribulation.
Just give it to me now, Rabbi.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
I want it all,
As it was
Rabbi.
in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. Noah was preserved in the earth, so will we. He was preserved in the wilderness of the world, so will we.
That's right.
As it was in the days of Noah.
Oh, hallelujah.
If Noah was raptured to heaven, so are we.
Yahweh.
But he wasn't. As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the Son of Adam. Now watch this. Israel flies to the wilderness where she is nourished by whom? By Yahweh. For times and half a time, 3.5 years, from the presence of the serpent who always has hated the woman. Now look at verse 15. Out of his mouth, whose mouth? Satan's mouth, S-A-T-N, serpent. Out of the mouth of the serpent spewed water like a river.
After the
10, are you paying attention? You look happy.
Come on.
Water like a
You're wrong.
river. Ay, ay,
You look like
ay.
you're related today.
Ay, Rabino.
You look like the road is 1,000,000 miles from you.
Ay, Rabino.
You're not thinking about the road. You're thinking about Yahweh's people and His Shabbat.
Oh, man.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Now look at verse 15. Look at verse 15. Out of the mouth of the serpent
Ay, ay, ay.
spewed water like a river after the koich. Is that what it says?
No. No.
After the woman, to cause her to be swept away by the river. Notice, Satan, Hallel, out of his mouth comes a spewing river against the woman who brought forth Yeshua, the man-child. What is the purpose of the Great Tribulation? It is, on Yahweh, it depends on your perspective. From Yahweh's perspective, it is to protect Israel, and then Israel will rule and reign with him in the Atid level. From Satan's perspective, it is to finish what he started in Gan Eden. Because he lived in Gan Eden, he tried to start the job of eliminating the human race before it got started, and he figured if he can eliminate through his what? His river, his flood, if he could eliminate through his river Adam and Eve and kill the human race, there would be no human race, there would be no Messiah, there would be no Redeemer, there would be no Israel.
That's right.
But what did Yahweh do? He killed an animal and made a korban. Dam korban, a blood sacrifice. And because of the blood sacrifice, Adam and Chava lived and lived on past the death of the Garden of Eden. Are you with me? So Satan failed in the garden, didn't he? I said, didn't he?
Near the
Yes,
river.
yes.
Yeah.
But then the righteous seed produced and reproduced and grew and multiplied. And then Israel came along in the promise of physical multiplicity. Turn to your neighbor and say, physical multiplicity. Physical multiplicity. Try that again. Physical multiplicity. The people of Israel were promised to be a physically multiplied people. Deuteronomy 1:10, 3 million Israelites came out of Egypt. Moshe said, this is not enough. Yahweh will multiply you 1,000 times. 1,000 times 3 million is 3 billion. If 4 million came out of Egypt, 1,000 times 4 is 4 billion. There are 5 billion people on the earth. 4 out of every 5 billion have the blood of Jacob in their veins, not the blood of Ishmael, not the blood of Esau, and not even the blood of Abraham, because every nation on earth comes from Abraham. Every nation, even the Arab, every nation, it's no big deal to come from Abraham. It says through the sperm, the seed, the zera of Jacob, he would make 4 out of every 5 billion, 4 out of every 5 persons on this earth have Israelite blood. That's why in the Great Tribulation, it is this river that goes to the ends of the earth. Just like the river came out of Eden. To go where? To the ends of the earth. Where did that river go? Out of Eden to the ends of the earth. Why are there 4 rivers? Where did the sons of Adam and Eve multiply? The 4 winds of the earth. I'm just going to, y'all not getting
Oh,
this.
man. Yes.
You get it? Yes. 4 rivers
Don't give
to
up.
pollute and destroy and to disseminate every son and daughter of Adam to the 4 corners of the earth, no matter where they may be found. That which was, is now, and will be again. Who is the woman in Revelation 12? The woman is the one who brought forth the Redeemer, the man-child. And where is Israel in the right now, in the days, the minutes, the hours, right before the beginning, the commencement of the Great Tribulation? Where is Israel now?
Giving birth.
In the 4 corners of the earth. Israelites are in China, in Asia, in Europe, in Australia, in New Zealand. Are you with me? Every continent, every city, every village, all 4 corners of the earth. And so Satan's flood comes in the Great Tribulation to the 4 corners of the earth to do to them what he tried to do to the first generation after Adam and Eve.
Yeah. Whoa.
Notice, the river, the word is Nahar. Look at verse 15. Out of whose mouth? The serpent's mouth. Spewed water, flooded, like a river, like a what? Nahar. Like a Nahar. Yahweh wants you to think back on the Sod to when you read the word Nahar and you read the word woman being destroyed by and overtaken by a river, your mind should race back to Gan Eden.
Yeah.
That's what the Revelator does. Yeshua the Revelator through Yochanan wants your mind to race back to Gan Eden to think of the river that came out of Eden.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good river. It was meant to water the garden, but Satan bittered the waters and turned them into wormwood. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. It is through the mouth of the serpent this river comes after the woman, causing her to be swept away. What's the purpose of the river? To destroy Israel. What is the purpose of the Great Tribulation? To destroy Israel. What is the purpose of the Great Tribulation? For Yahweh to protect Israel so they usher in the kingdom and they're preserved and they can boast. Yea, as it is written, let him that boasts, boast in Yahweh. Are you with me? By preserving Israel from the river, Yahweh will get all the kavod. Yahweh will get all the glory. Yahweh will get all the Shekhinah. Even though the river will come after the woman. But the earth, look at verse 16, helped the woman. The earth opened its mouth and swallowed up the river, which the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. Where are the people of Yahweh? On the earth. I don't see no rapture there, do you? Am I missing? Maybe I'm missing something. Yahweh doesn't cause the heavens to suck up the water. He causes the earth to drain in the water of the devil. Why? Because his people are on the earth. And no one's going to argue that the book of Revelation is the time of Jacob's trouble. No one's going to argue that. That is the time of the Great Tribulation. No one's going to argue that. During the Great Tribulation, Satan comes after Israel to destroy Israel through how many rivers? And we're going to learn what those rivers are in just a few hours. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. To destroy Israel, because Israel's not just in Judah, not just in America. Israel, the 12 tribes, are in every church, Baptist, Methodist, Presbyterian, in every religion, in every nation, in every city, because the water goes into the four corners of the earth, somebody. How does Yahweh protect Israel? By having her fly to heaven? No, by having her what? Stay in the wilderness and draining the water, meaning overcoming the wicked wiles of the enemy. On the earth. On the earth. Can anyone say on the earth?
On the earth.
On the earth.
On the earth.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
That's great.
That is Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Now watch this. The earth opens its mouth to swallow the river, the Nahar, which the dragon spews out of his mouth. The dragon is enraged with the woman. He went to fight with the remnant of her seed. What is the purpose? It's to show how even Satan can't defeat the people of Israel. When Yahweh is for us, who can be against us? For I am convinced that neither death or peril or sword or nakedness or famine or any of these things can overcome us and take us for those of us who love Yahshua. Us, notice. Doesn't say you, doesn't say me, it says us. When we are a nation, when we have one purpose, one mind, Torah, Messiah, restore, Torah, Messiah, restore, blood, Messiah, two houses, restore, blood, Messiah. Us, he cannot, death or life or principalities, naked, cannot overcome us.
Beautiful, beautiful.
But alone we can all be overcome. But alone we can all be overtaken. But us, none of these stuff coming into the water, into the river that's going to the four corners will be able to overtake us. Us, together. That's why we do not forsake the assembling of ourselves together. Hebrews 9:25, as the manner of some is. But we get together all the more as we see the day approaching. We don't forsake the assembling of ourselves together. Because together we overcome. Yahweh allows the dragon to be destroyed. Though he is enraged, look at verse 17. Though he goes to fight with the remnant of her seed. Notice, not with all her seed, but with what? Who is the remnant? Judah and Ephraim. But how do you define, Rabbi, how do I know I'm an Israelite? How can I define that I am part of the remnant? Show me how I can define that. Here it is. Doesn't say all Israel. Doesn't say all Jews and all Ephraimites. It says the remnant is protected. The remnant is hidden. The remnant is under the shadow of the Almighty. Is anyone enjoying?
Yes.
Other than Raina, is anyone enjoying?
Yahweh.
And Miriam. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. What by biblical definition defines remnant? Here it is. Look at verse 17. Those who overcome the river of the dragon are those who guard